What is up, YouTube? It's your girl Brainyboss here, coming at you with another video. On today's video, I'm going to be telling you 25 things that I would tell myself when I was 30 years old. So please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and make sure you click the notification bell so that you know when Brainyboss uploads. So if you're interested in watching, please stay tuned. Alright guys, so on this video, I'm going to be telling you 25 things that I wish I would have known when I was 30 years old. First thing, getting or having your ducks in a row. When you get to a particular age, you need to have your ducks in a row. When you're younger, you're not focused on that because some people like to party hardy, and circumstances are different at that age. But once you hit 30, you should be trying to get your ducks in a row. And when I say that, you should have your career on track. You should be around here saving money, either buying a house or bought a house or saving for a house. But you need to make sure that you have your ducks in a row and you should be on track to where you want to be in life. If you're not and you're 30, you need to get started right now, okay? My next thing that I would tell my 30-year-old self is have some goals for what you want to do in your future transitions. Things change all the time. What I mean by that, you should always have a backup plan. Like for myself, I'll use myself as an example. I went to school and I became a school teacher, an elementary school teacher. Well, guess what? In my state, they don't pay teachers a lot. So you know what I did? I transitioned into something that wanted to generate the type of money that I wanted to make. And right now, I'm doing good. So that's what I mean by when I say have a plan B for when you want to transition into something. Always have something to fall back on, because if I wasn't doing what I'm doing right now, including my husband, I would be teaching somebody's kid in an elementary school. I did aspire to be and want to be a school principal. My brother is a school principal over in the state of California for a very long time. But at some point, I knew that I would have to put the time in order for me to be able to get to that goal. And it takes a lot. It takes years and years under your belt. And trust me, how the school systems are now, you can get burnt out really fast on how things are. So that's why I transitioned into something else. And that's why I work for myself with my husband, okay? My third thing that I would tell my 30-year-old self is having friends can be overrated. Having people who genuinely love and care about you and has a positive attitude towards your life is what a good chica looks like. When I say having positive friends, you want people that support you 100%. You don't want people to be a yes man. You want people who are going to be honest with you. You want to have a good chica instead of a friend. A good chica is going to tell you the truth, and they're going to high five you on your highs and lows and stuff. They're going to tell you about yourself. You don't want to sit and say that people are your friends, because truthfully, people are in your lives for seasons. Don't get me wrong. I have a friend that I've been friends with for a very long time. It's been over about 20 years and stuff. And who would have thought me and her would still be friends? But you know what? We be real with each other, and that's why we're sustaining, and we're able to sustain that long friendship and keep it as long as it is, because we're honest with each other and stuff. You need to have people around you that genuinely care about you and they want to see you do well. Make sure you get you a good chica, not a friend, okay? My next thing I would tell my 30-year-old self is keep your drama to yourself. Okay, everybody is guilty of calling upon people and their families and want to talk about their drama and their relationships. Or how about staying out of drama? Because if you are in drama, you're not able to focus on yourself. You want to be able to focus on yourself to build yourself up in your relationship, in your life, or if you have children. When you have a goal, when you in a relationship, the goal is to focus on what's going on in your house, not somebody else's. And you want to always make sure that you're not trying to air out somebody else's dirty laundry when you got your own drama, because people talk regardless to what you think. They don't care if it's good or bad. That's just how life is. So you need to make sure that if you have something going on in your house amongst yourself and your partner or your husband, you need to work that out with your partner. Don't sit and talk about them to other people and make them look bad to others, because that doesn't look good on you nor them. Okay? My next thing that I would tell my 30-year-old self is to be confident about who you are. Make sure that you have confidence in yourself. These are things that people can't give you. This is something you must have in yourself. I make sure that I tell my daughters, especially girls, because sometimes girls can feel like they're not beautiful and things like that. I want you to be confident no matter what you look like, what color, what complexion, what you look like. You need to be confident in yourself, because that's where it starts. It starts first. Hold on, guys. Okay, the next thing I would tell my 30-year-old self is to dress to impress yourself, not others. When I step out the door, I represent myself, I represent my husband, I represent my family. The one thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you are dressing to impress yourself, not others. Because truth be told, others don't care what you look like at the end of the day. Representation of yourself and your family and your partner, that should be at the forefront of your head. My next thing is having something under your belt. This goes back to what I was saying about having a plan B. You want to make sure that you have something under your belt so that you're able to take care of yourself and sustain in life. You want to make sure that you're able to afford your living habits, afford the luxuries that you like and stuff like that. In order for you to do great things in the world, you need to focus on having something under your belt at all given times. My next thing is to live within your means. People need to learn this lesson. Live within your means. Stop trying to live how somebody else is living, because most of the time people try to imitate what others are doing. You want to make sure that you have enough money to take care of yourself, and you need to live within your means by purchasing what you can afford, not what others do. I know social media is a big key player in this, because people see things on social media and they think that's what people's lives are, and that is this movie every day. That is not true. That is all fake, fake, fake. You need to do what's best for yourself, and you need to live within your means. Don't try to be like other people. Be like yourself. Be original, okay? My next thing that I would tell my 30-year-old self is to do not stress about little things. The little things can turn into bigger things. Handle what you can handle, because some things can be out of your control. And when you give it to God, you need to leave it alone, because at the end of the day, you have no control over it. So try to stress less and be happy. My next thing is pay attention to your credit score. Okay, so a lot of people, like my mom's generation, that were born in the 60s and in the 50s and things like that, they did not get educated on how to pay attention to the credit score. Let me tell you something. Your credit score is just as important as your social security card, okay, and your social security number. It is important, because if you don't have a good credit score, some people are not able to qualify for certain things that they need and want in life. In order for you to make sure that, you need to pay attention to that when you're younger. People don't realize how important their credit score is. So make sure that's something that you're paying attention to, okay? My next thing is, there is nothing wrong with wanting more for yourself. What happens with that is, a lot of people like to sit and think that when you want more for yourself, that you're trying to be different, or you're trying to be bougie or high maintenance. That's not what it is. When you're used to being taken care of, you're used to taking care of yourself, there's nothing wrong with wanting more for yourself and your family or your spouse. I'm a product of that. I didn't want to stay single. I wanted to be married. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have a home. I wanted somebody who was going to love me for me. And that's what I asked God for, and that's what I strive for. People need to pay attention to those things and understand that there's nothing wrong with wanting more in life. You don't have to be basic all your life. You don't have to have the basic life. You can strive for that. I say pray about it, ask God for it, and let him give it to you, okay? My next thing is travel time. Travel time waits for no man. Travel and enjoy life as much as you can. I know some people are not able to afford the luxuries, but I would tell my 30-year-old self to travel more and stuff. Right now, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so we're not able to travel as much as we like. We normally travel at least a couple times out the year and stuff, but right now, we're on hold because of the pandemic. But I recommend traveling and enjoying life because, you know, time waits for no man. You better know that. My next thing is to expand your mindset and try new things that take you out of your comfort zone. If you don't try new things that take you out your comfort zone, then how do you know what you really will like in life? That's like trying a new restaurant or trying a new wine or trying to go visit somewhere new. You don't have to be like everybody else and stuff. A lot of people like to follow on social media and they think that that's what it is. No, figure out what makes you happy and always look to expand your mind, because you want to be around like-minded people who basically are just like you. They're striving for the same types of things. Those are the type of people you want to be around, okay? My next thing is health is wealth. Okay, if you're like me, you probably eat healthy, but you get lazy and you don't want to exercise. I am very much guilty of that. I do eat healthy. I'm not a huge snacker. Most of the time I have a sour mouth, so that's another reason. But health is wealth. In order for you to live on this earth for a long time and have a purpose, you need to be making sure that you're healthy, okay? My next thing that I would tell my 30-year-old self is parenting is a journey. Okay, I actually have a son that's about to be 21. I have a 19-year-old daughter. I have an 18-year-old son, and I have some younger children. My thing is this: parenting is not easy. They don't give you a manual when you leave out the hospital, but at the same time, try not to beat yourself up, because parenting comes with no instructions. You have to do the best you can and educate your kids on the things that you were taught and as well what you learned along the way. But don't beat yourself up. I try that every day. I try not to beat myself up, and I try to stress less about my kids and their decisions. You need to do that, because I wish I would have known this years ago. Then I probably would save myself a lot of headaches and a lot of crying, okay? My next thing that I would tell my 30-year-old self is to invest your time. If you are married or you are in a relationship, make sure that God is in that relationship with you and your partner, because without him, it's nothing. You need to put God at the forefront of your marriage and your relationship. If that's the person you're trying to be with, you need to put it in God's hands, because he's a part of your relationship and your marriage. In order for this thing to work, you have to learn the word compromise, and you have to compromise on many things in order for you to have a good marriage. There are ups and downs in relationships, but the thing about it is working together as a couple and as one and learning the word compromise is the word. My next thing is don't try to please others. Be pleasing to yourself. You owe it to yourself and the man up above. You have to be happy with yourself, and you have to make sure you focus on yourself, because if you don't focus on you, then who will? Yes, you may have a spouse, but if you're not happy with yourself, what's really going to make you happy? You have to be the one that makes you happy first. And by giving it to God and asking God to help you with whatever it is you need, let that be at the forefront of your mind, because trust me, it can go a long way. My next thing is, they call you bougie. They call it high maintenance. Don't be ashamed to hold yourself up on a pedestal. You have to hold yourself up on a pedestal, because if you don't, nobody else will. People call it bougie, they call it high maintenance. I call it take care of oneself and putting yourself first. And that's what you want to do with yourself. Take care of your own self. Make sure you love on yourself and make sure you make yourself a priority. Okay, my next thing that I would tell my 30-year-old self is know your worth. Everyone is worth something. Know what you're worth. Know what you're willing to put up with from anybody. Know what you're willing to deal with. Because people need to know that. People will walk over you if you allow them to. Don't be a doormat for anybody. My next thing I would tell my 30-year-old self is to accept what you cannot change. When I say that, there are things in my life that I don't agree with. I didn't agree with how some of my kids made the decisions they made. But at the end of the day, I love them and I have to be okay with the change that they made in their lives. I'm okay with it. It took me a long time to get to that point, but at the end of the day, I have to be okay with it and I have to allow myself not to stress about it because it's out of my control. You have to be in control and you have to allow yourself not to be bothered by things that you have no control over. My next thing that I would tell my 30-year-old self is love yourself. Self-love is the first thing that you want to do and give to yourself. Again, make yourself a priority. My next thing that I would tell my 30-year-old self is to speak and think positive in your life and in your heart. Speak it and think it and live it. You want to always be positive. Sometimes it's easy to become negative in such a cruel world, but you have to allow yourself to be okay and you have to speak positive thoughts and have a positive mindset nowadays, especially now. The pandemic has really turned a lot of people to depression. But you know, at the end of the day, don't look at it as a pandemic. Look at it as a way for you to spend more time with your family. Look at it as more of time for yourself. Look at it for things and projects that you haven't complete and stuff. And work on those things because, you know, you have the time. Why not do it? You need to look at it and focus on the positive, not the negative. My last thing that I would tell my 30-year-old self is to allow yourself to laugh. Laughter is the perfect medicine. If you don't laugh, you're just going to be unhappy. But those are all the things that I would tell my 30-year-old self. And now I'm older and in a better place and so much more happier. But make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell to make sure you know when Brainyboss uploads. Make sure you are also following me on Instagram at Brainyboss3711. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.